Okay people, I want to have an in-depth look at EcoPore because I've seen some really strange stuff going around on YouTube lately. Now, EcoPore is an eco-friendly casting powder. You can also get some two-part ones that I would call probably eco-casting compounds, like jesmonite, bowenite, that sort of thing. But EcoPore is an eco-friendly casting powder and it is mixed with just water. Now, what I've seen going around on YouTube lately is people referring to all of these casting powders and compounds as EcoPores. They're not. EcoPore is a registered trademark. So if you put EcoPore in your video title, please be using EcoPore. Otherwise it's just confusing everybody. Anyway, the other thing I've seen is people testing it, mixing it completely wrongly, nowhere near like the instructions, and then saying, oh, it's no good, it doesn't work. And also testing it on things it was never intended for. And you'd get exactly the same results if you took that same approach to any of these casting powders, not just EcoPore. Now, I've tried pretty much every brand of eco casting powder and compound that I can find, and can I just say they're all good. They really are. I've not yet found one that I don't like. I prefer this one because it's so simple to use, because you just mix it with water, so I prefer that to the compound ones like jesmonite and bowenite, but I know other people prefer those. They're all good, as I said. I particularly like this one. I also like the business model of the firm that this comes from, which is just for you online. So that is why I use this one. Anyway, somebody has recently demonstrated mixing it up really wrongly and then slating it for not doing marbling. So that's the bit I want to set the record straight on right now. So what I've seen is the particular video that annoyed me recently is one where the craftsperson mixed up all of the other casting powders that she was comparing on screen, so you could see how accurately she had mixed them, except for the EcoPore. But what you could see was that it was like water, so she clearly hadn't followed the instructions. Now, I don't normally get involved in politics like this, but this really bothered me because it is misleading all you lovely craft people out there, and I did want to show you that this stuff is really, really good. You just have to use it as instructed, as with all of the other ones, which, as I say, they are all very good. Everybody has their preferences. Now, if you want to see a load of different techniques that you can do with EcoPore, then have a look at my Resin Alternatives playlist on my channel. There's loads of ideas on there. And also Claire's Crafty Corner is a big exponent of jesmonite, which you can make similar pieces with. So have a look at her channel as well. She is known as the expert on these sort of things. So really, I just wanted to redress the balance and show you that this stuff is good. Simple as. I don't want you being misled. Now, you might say I'm biased because I am an ambassador for this stuff, but the reason I'm an ambassador for it is simply because I was using it all the time anyway. So I do know what I'm doing with it. And at first I followed the instructions to the letter and it was perfect. However, as many of you will know, I don't like measuring stuff, but I know what consistency this is supposed to be. Now, if you make it a lot runnier, it will still cure. It might be slightly more brittle, but it will still cure fine. It just takes an awful lot longer. You won't get marbling effects very well with it because, of course, it's got a lot of water in it. It will just run. So, although it's very forgiving, you can go a bit thicker, you can go a bit thinner, and it does still work perfectly. You do need to have it at a certain consistency to get your marbling. Now, just to prove that this isn't that difficult, I am going to not measure it as I usually do. And this is all we do. We put a bit of water in and we start mixing. And I can see that's really thick. Look, it looks like dough, doesn't it? No dough. So this is really runny. So this is just how I saw it on that video. You can tell I'm wound up about this, can't you? I don't like you people being misled. So that actually is probably slightly better than I saw in that video. Now, what I'm going to do, because I know that's too thin, I'm going to put some more powder in. And also, I've got these 3 lovely pot moulds from Boo and Nicole that I want to show it you in. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, I'll put the casing on this mould. I've got to make a load of pots anyway, so this seemed like an opportunity, because I've got an order from Be More Witch. She wants some candle pots, so there we are. They're ready to go. So what we do then, we mix it. You don't need to sieve it or anything. It's lovely and white. I hope that's coming over on camera, but you stir it thoroughly, and that is what you want. Can you see how thick that is? It is not watery. In fact, I might put a tiny bit more powder in, because we are going for that marbling effect. So you want it on the thicker side, exactly the same as you would with Aquacast, Jesmonite, you know, Resin Crete, Buonite, whatever. You need it a little bit on the thick side to get your marbling going, because otherwise it's a bit like trying to marble in deep cast resin, isn't it? It just ain't going to work. So we've got that nice and thick. Is that thick enough? I think I'm going to put it more. You see, so I'm eyeballing this. You should measure it though, unless you're particularly practiced with it like I am. Say 3 parts powder, 3 parts water, 10 parts powder. To be honest, the mix she'd got looked like it was the other way around. Honestly, I've seen milk thicker. Now, better get down off my soapbox, hadn't I? Bit thicker, yeah. Now this stuff is amazing, it does cure fast, but we have got that bit of pot time like this to mix it. Ah, there we are, that's about right. Okay, so make sure you've mixed it really, really thoroughly, as you would with any other product. Okay, now if you want your marbling, all you do is you get a good colouring. I'm going to use the one from Buon Nicole actually, seeing as I've got it to go with the moulds. You put a few drops in fact I'll put a nice big squirt. This is going to be for my bathroom, this is. Did I mention that? You do that. So you've got a marbling running through it, and you pour it in. Nice and slowly. This should be nice and dramatic, hopefully. And then we need to give it a good bash, and then we'll fill up the other ones in exactly the same way. I've got enough to do this one's lid. There we are. We're giving it a good bash and a wiggle just to make sure there's no bubbles in there, in much the same you would with any of these sort of products. And we're pouring it into the lid in the same way, and it looks like I need to mix up a little bit more. Not a problem, we can do that. I mixed up a bit of grey and put in there, which might have been a bit too watery, so we'll see if we lose some of our effect. Now I'm giving it a good tap, get the bubbles out. Right, I'm going to go and clean up, give this another shimmy. I'm going to go and have a clean up, and then we will do this at the pot. Okay, I'm back and I've calmed down a bit now. Honestly, I just get so angry at people being misled. There's an ethical thing here. I could easily fudge up a video to show you why this is so much better than all the other brands. I won't slag off other brands. I just won't. And that is because I think they all have their merits. And to be honest, I've had great results from all of them. If I don't like a brand, I simply don't show it on my channel. I will not slag off other brands. So you'll know if you see me use it, I'm very happy with it and very happy to recommend it. It's as simple as that. And if I did a comparison video, it would be an absolutely honest one. Everything would be shown, and it would be testing it for things it was intended for. Otherwise, it's just like a Top Gear test drive. You know what I mean? When they test cars doing things they were never designed for. Just for a laugh. And it's unhelpful, but funny. I like Top Gear. At least I used to. The old Top Gear gang were lovely. I wish the current ones well though, because they've had a rough time. Now, there we go. Nicely mixed up again. And this time we're going to use pumpkin spice, which does come out a really bright... need to stick my pin in the end of this again. This does come out a really nice pumpkin colour. Again, this is a homeware designed colour this time, and I've seen people say, oh, it doesn't come out that colour. Yes, it does. If you use enough of it, it goes the colour that it's intended. So there we are. There we are. That is very much what you would call pumpkin spice. And there we are. That's marbled in. Let's pop it in our jar. Now there's a lot of colours out there that will work for EcoPore. Go down. There we are. Just letting it go down the sides. This pot is an interesting shape. So it doesn't want to run down. So I'm going to have to do it a little bit at a time. So I've mixed it so nice and thick as you're supposed to. There we are. Let's pull it out from the side. Hope that doesn't distort our marbling, but look how good that marbling is in the bowl. Again, might have to mix up a bit more for the... oh, I think I've overdone it for the lid. Don't know yet. Oh no, I've got plenty. So, just make sure this has gone down. Oh dear. So you can see the consistency this stuff should be. Now in doing this, I'm probably messing up the marbling anyway, aren't I? But this should give us a good marble. Oops. Yeah, overfilled again. And this is going to have a little lip round here, isn't it? Because it's and there's the lid. Should have done this first, really. There's a little knobby bit in the lid. There you go. You can see the bubbles all coming out beautifully. Going to do a bit more tapping. Same with this one. Yeah, I might have messed up the marbling a bit by squeezing it too much then. We'll see. Anyway, yeah, time to stop ranting. I think I need a cup of tea. Like I said, I just don't like you people being misled, especially when you're spending your hard-earned money on these products. Rest assured, when you watch my videos, what you see is what you get. If I screw up, you will see a screw up. If I am doing a product review and I don't get the results out of it that I expect, I will explain why, because usually it'll be my fault. So, hopefully you all understand where I stand on the ethics thing. I'm also not one of these who will recommend things because that's where I get paid the most commission either. That does not work with me. I recommend things to you that I get absolutely no commission on at all. So in this case I do, just to be clear, I am an ambassador for EcoPore, and also I am an affiliate for the Boo and Nicole moulds, but also I'm an affiliate for Resin and many others, and I do use their products too, and I will always make it clear what the score is. This does mean you get discount codes, of course, which is really nice, isn't it? We get discount codes. There we are. I've made a right mess. So I'll see you for the demould in... oh, I'll leave it now to be on the safe side. See you later. Okay, so I demoulded a couple of these. Now, that is marbling. This is marbling. Now this is the bit where I put too much water in. And as you can see, that is not marbling. So the answer to the question is, does this stuff marble? Yes. You just need to use it as instructed. Now this pot, I overfilled it. I have started having a bit of a clean up. There we are. Let's just break that away. You can give it a little bit of a sand afterwards anyway, because that's how you use this stuff. All of the eco things. Now, I didn't get all the bubbles out as I should have done, so I was too busy being angry at people being misled. Anyway, I should have spent more time getting the bubbles out. Would have been the same with any of the eco casting powders. I keep repeating that. They are all good. Okay, and there we have marbling. And Homeware Designed colours have performed as promised. Again, you just need to use the right amount. So my fault, a couple of bubbles around there. However, I can use the Eco Pour to actually repair those. But look, marbling. Now this one should be... Isn't that cute? Right, this one should be more dramatic. Let me just have a clean up. And then in case anybody still isn't convinced that I might not be biased with all of this, about a year ago I did a review of Cricut and also flagged that up as really good. And I am and never have been on commission from the people who make Aquacast either. Sorry, I really should have another cup of tea, shouldn't I? Or lie down or something. Anyway, so there you are. You tell me that's not marbling. So that is what happens if you use it as per the instructions. And the weights are in... Let's just read the instructions. It tells you to weigh it in... There we are. Grams. Not millilitres, grams. Because that might work as it's the same for water, but it does not work for the same for powder. Because the powder is a different weight per spoonful or whatever than water is. So you need 100 grams of powder, 30 grams of water, 100 to 30, but you must be measuring them in grams, not millilitres. That's two different things when it comes to the weight of the powder versus the weight of the water against the volume. Now, all of these powders will have clear instructions on them. If you use them as are intended, trust me, they are all good. Anyway, there you go. Rant over. I think we can see we've got a lovely little pot here. Two lovely little pots. I'm just going to wax them, and the wax I use is the one from Boo and Nicole. But I am going to leave them to thoroughly dry first, because when they first come out of the moulds, they will be that bit more brittle. And as you can see by where this one has been stood, there will be still a lot of moisture in there. So I'm going to leave them, I typically leave them 24 hours, and then you will get a nice solid dry piece that will be strong, and you can then wax it or coat it with a brush on sealant or whatever you're going to use to finish it off. So there we are, marbling with Eco Pour. Lovely stuff. Now if you try to make bookmarks with any of these products, or very thin pieces of jewellery or anything like that, you are going to struggle, because that is not what they're intended for. However, if you want some ideas on how you can make small pieces and thinner pieces using these casting powders, then do have a look at my Resin Alternatives playlist. So anyway, yeah, rant over. I think you've probably got the message. And like I said, if you want to go and have a look at some other ideas, then by all means go and have a look at my playlist for different things you can do with Eco Pour on a smaller scale. And bear in mind that yes, you can probably do that with pretty much all of the other products that are similar to. This one just happens to be my preference because I just find it really easy to work with. So yeah, this is what happens, as you can see around here. That's what happens when I put too much water in. This is the bit when I didn't, and it marbled. So, hope this was helpful on showing you actually how you do marble with Eco Pour, and as I said, probably all the other casting powders as well. So I will see you for the next one, and apologies for my ranting. As you know, I just do not like having you all misled, that's all. So I'll see you for the next video. Take care, everyone, and I hope you didn't mind my rant. Happy crafting.